Hey, I'm just following orders. Let me get one of those slow motion pictures, bro. One of the slow motion pictures.
You gotta shoot at 60 frames per second.
Come on, that.
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move and coach shit. You see me, they like, ooh, keep on stopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up, I'm about to bullshit. They see me, they like, ooh, keep on stopping. I'm on my body, real niggas right beside me. Damn right, I brought my army, going up like a rocket, and can't nobody stop me. These niggas garbage, so watch your mouth, boy. Coming all black, slithering house, call me mouth, boy. I'm off the hip like a cowboy. I'm a king, you should bow, boy. So they like, damn, man, you cut up. Nothing I can handle. 144 in the booth, going Rambo. Niggas do you dirty like a stick in a bando. That's why I play the corner like a bum with a banjo. I'ma lead by example. Ooh, keep on stopping, got this bitch off the hand. Got this juice, got this drip, about to hit the bitch with the salt. It ain't rap, it's assault. Can't taste a bitch unless you with the coke. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move and coach shit. Hey! One way, one way, one way, one way, one way. Coming up on my I do it how a veteran be. You better than me. I'm Reggie at the edge of the key. It's all money, no honey. Think you settling? See, you locked up, fucked up, and it's back to the streets. It's One West. You can check the residency. I reside with soldiers died on the soles of their feet. Cause there's death before designer. Ain't no coward in me. Cause I'm cold as a bitch's shoulder. You ain't calling a week. Get the cooking on this beat. Hope you like it well done. Got them killers rolling with me and they all red rum, red rum, red rum. Got you fuckers scared some. Get the banging on this beat till my fucking head numb. Black Glock, red drums, black and yellow air ones. Homie, you ain't got a vest. I suggest you wear one.
Told these niggas we was going up. They was doing a lot of talking. Now these niggas ain't saying shit.
Feeling like a legend in this shit. Lil nigga, I'm past veteran. Never feeling third. Lil nigga, I'm past second. Guns, I gotta have them all like Ash Ketchum. Shotty break a nigga ribs up like his wife left him. We all stepping. Kill you with kindness cause I'm dead nice. That 5'7" put you 6 feet, not talking height. That judge giving out 5, but you doing life. These hands are rude GPS. A mean right. That's mean right. We build different, you know the vibes. And we stamped it authentic, we notarized. I keep a 144 because I know a kind. Noah's Ark, you know I'm with animals when we flowing by. We back again, no cap, when I'm with Cap again. Yeah, they say they want smoke until we matching them. Everything righteous, so you know when we get back at them, you get hit up with a K, but no acronym. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move and coach shit. You see me, they like, ooh, keep on stopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up, I'm about to bullshit.
Hold on 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. Shalom, say, chapter. Any questions? You're good to go? Is that stockings or? Oh no, you good. You straight. You straight. Yeah. Any questions? Go ahead.
As far as we going into this this American holiday that they call Christmas. As far as like the pressure, is there a scripture? I haven't came across it. I believe I came across in the past, but it's vague to me. Where is there scriptures where kids putting pressure on parents for like where
kids putting pressure on the parents.
Like
that's a new one, boy.
Like they're
so the bully changed roles now. The smaller one bullying this bigger one. God damn. Okay. There's definitely one specific for the kids, but what you probably want for that is so like just rephrase the question again, bro. Just hand him the mic, so like I keep forgetting that because it's not gonna pick up because of this mic. So make sure you all rock with it, all right? How did it work like yesterday, Shepard? Okay, no, sir.
Charging it again. I might just have a short charge, but it should be too well. We do have the other mic just in case, though.
No sweat. Go ahead, please.
So we going into this American holiday that they call Christmas. What I was saying is there a specific scripture or anything that would detail or talk about how the kids put pressure on the parents,
right?
And kind of reversing roles, like because it's definitely evil spirit that these kids is going to start growing up with.
Okay, now the kids is going to put pressure on the parents because the parents force the kids into the culture from young. A child ain't just going to reach 10 and start pressuring the parent just all willy-nilly. You know what I mean? The kid puts pressure on the parent because that's what the parent taught the child. You understand? So there's definitely one for it. We went over it last week. We don't stand at the courtesy for your children. I think it's Ecclesiasticus 40. Right? Give me that one first. Ecclesiasticus 40. Also give me what else could we use? Let me see where you're all at. What else could we use for that thing? That same question he's asking, as opposed, as it relates to the pressure, peer pressure. Adam, I'll give you a hint. Sis? I'll take that one too. Go ahead, quickly.
Train up the child in the way.
Right. I'll take that one too. Let me get that one on the that precept after. But there's another one. This is the big one. This is the big one. This is really everything. It's all things, not just for Christmas. It's Thanksgiving. It's your birthday. It's marriage. It's that whole getting on one knee and proposing. It's all that. What's going on?
Would we is this the learn not the way of the heathen?
I'll take that too, but there's something else. There's something else. Oh, sorry, Chris. Anybody?
We better put up trade up.
Now he pulled up one before, right? Ecclesiasticus
40, sir.
No sweat.
Courtesy.
Who has it?
So, like, if I could know, the Ecclesiastes one is in 33. Ecclesiastes 33:21.
Let me hear it.
Come. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 33, verse 21. For it is that thy child should seek to thee, then that thou shouldest stand to their courtesy.
Right.
That's in Ecclesiastes 33:21.
Right, read it one more time.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 33, verse 21. For better it is that thy child, for better it is that thy children should seek to thee, than that thou shouldest stand to their courtesy.
All right, what does that say? Who understands it? Shabbat.
That you shouldn't try to appease your children, whether they disappointed or not, or you have to leave from in sight of them because you want to stand strong on what you want to teach them. Like eventually, whatever the cause, they'll seek you out later on in life.
Right. That's basically it. Right. Anybody else want to add? Anybody else wanted to add to it? Good. You all understand that, right? So let's read the scripture again from the top, if you don't mind.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 33, verse 21. For better it is that thy children should seek to thee, than thou shouldst stand to their courtesy.
Right. So now, as what you were saying, right, with the children putting pressure on the parents to buy gifts. It's better that, read it again.
For better it is that thy children should seek to thee, than that thou shouldst stand to their courtesy.
Right. It's better that the children would now go after how you are for Christmas than you go after how they are. That's better. That's a better way to be. That's a better spirit to have in your house, right? The households we grew up in today is just a far cry from any time when we were strong in this captivity, which is where the family had both parents. You know, single family house is not the best. It's not the total best environment, even though some single family homes have had relative success. But having that structure with both parents, what is the child seeing from growing, from young? What is the child seeing? I'm saying having that structure in the house with both parents, both father and mother, because parents today is what? Auntie and auntie and uncle and uncle. Having that structure, what is the child seeing from young?
Order.
Give me more on the order. Buddy? Go ahead, Arwadi.
Salaki, sir, if I may. Like arguments, they seeing both sides.
What do you mean?
Okay, the child is seeing the mother and the father if there is both parents in the household.
Well, the question is specifically for both parents in the household.
Okay, Salaki. They seeing the pros and the cons.
Okay, give me some more. You're kind of leaving it wide open. You give me specific. You got some more you wanted to say? Okay. Yeah, please.
They seeing the mother and father disagree and agree.
Okay, so give me some more in that then.
Maybe pertaining to them, like if the child asks the mother for something and the mother says no, and they go to the father and the father says yes, they seeing the dispute between.
Okay, that's one side. I'm talking about the full black family in power. That happens, but not really when a family is how our families used to be. There's something that the child sees, even in that dynamic. There's something that it goes different.
What a child see as a black mother and father, they see them striving together, working together.
They see the union working together. There's something else.
It's like if they seeing love.
That's true. There's some. Well, okay.
Ranking order.
They're seeing what?
Ranking order.
That's what they're seeing. Structure. They're seeing that structure without even everybody plays sports here, right? Well, there's basketball, football, swimming, whatever. Right? And you go to pick up games. You go to a court. Does the guy who's the natural leader on the court have to wear any special clothes? eventually, you just watch it long enough, you get to see who kind of runs the whole thing, right? Children also see that in the house. They after a while, they'll get to know who really runs the ship, and they'll say it. When it's time to get something done, they'll be like, "Nah, mommy say so and so, or daddy say so and so," and they'll be talking to the other parent like that. So now, with seeing that part, they understand flowing in a certain spirit with the parent. They understand not compromising, complying with what the parent wants. And they also understand the feeling of when the parent is disappointed, which is something I can't say children are growing up with today, right? Children are growing up with a whole lot of coddling that leads to just seeking pleasure and not really feeling the weight of disappointment. The weight of disappointment from somebody you look to as a father or a mother is gold in life, because that will help you not be a slut. You'll be like, I can't do that. I will disappoint my father. I can't do that. I'm going to break my mother's heart. You get the point? But now, today, we don't really have too much of that. We have the coddling of pleasure, which is what leads to what your question is. You get what I'm saying? Like we grow in today's society is so much, anybody could say or do anything and be accepted. And the cancel culture is if you try to do right. But there's no cancel culture for this person is just doing something that's not what we do. You understand what I'm saying? So there's no level of disappointment there growing up in the household that teaches a child how to think. So now if the child is now driven by pleasure, they got it from the parent. That's all where they got it from. They got it from the parent or somebody who the child has as a parental figure. It may not absolutely be the parent, because the parent could be the type of person who is saying no to this particular activity, but there's somebody else who is in a parental role that influences the child more than the parent, which is where you get the oppressor and the TV coming from. You understand? And there's a reason why as soon as Halloween is done, they show you, some cartoon with the Transformer transforming on his own, or the Barbie doll combing her own hair, all the way down, because somebody's trying to influence your children more than you are. You get the point? The influence has to be stronger from you. And if the influence is not strong from you, your children are going to succumb to something called what?
Disobedient.
No. Something else. Pass the mic real quick.
Selfishness?
Well, the selfishness is a symptom of the thing I'm talking about. But you're right, selfishness is definitely there. Anybody else?
Failure in hoarding.
Say again?
Failure in hoarding.
That's a symptom of what I'm asking about.
It's like rebellion, or
that's also a symptom.
Concept.
That's not the thing. What's about? No, sir. Go ahead and pass it.
So like, could it be peer pressure from your peers?
Peer pressure, not from the parents, but from whoever has the strongest influence. Like, peer pressure is a good thing. It's an extremely good thing. You understand? Our oppressor likes to tell you what? You your own person, you can make your mind up. But that's propaganda against who you should listen to. You understand? Because while he's telling you you're your own person, you should make your mind up. He's making your mind up for you. How? Because everybody's listening to him saying, I'm my own person. And everybody is saying, I'm my own person. You understand? Come on.
That falls into the saying of I'm gonna do me.
I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna just do me. I'm gonna go ahead and do me. I'm gonna do me, and me is exactly what the oppressor wants you to do today. You understand? I'm gonna just do me. I'm not religious, but who you wrapping these gifts for? I don't believe in God, but I didn't grow up in the church, but you're still doing you. It's the influence is stronger from somebody else. Go ahead.
Because I was gonna say it's like you know how all of us grew up on that my opinion matters most.
Say that again.
I said like a lot of us grew up on being told that your opinion matters most.
Give me some more.
Meaning you'll start to, and like due to that peer pressure of everything else that's surrounding you that can influence your decisions, you'll start to pick things of your own, like you're moving off your own accord. You know what I mean? Like it's because your opinion matters most. It's like it becomes a Christian to each his own. Type of thing.
Okay, now that's what I was saying before. With I'm my own person, I'll do me. Your opinion matters most, and you will find other people whose opinion matters the most, and all you all together. So how is this my opinion if we all the same? You understand? It's like it's a bait and switch. It's a 6 for a 9. You get the point? Like he's telling you, okay, your opinion matters the most. I'm gonna do me. I'm not following. I don't follow the trends. I like to walk in my own lane. But everybody's saying that shit. So which lane is you walking in? If everybody walking in their own lane and all y'all look the same, or y'all talk the same, you do the same thing, the influence is coming from somebody else. Ain't nobody walking in their own lane. Either you listen to the Lord or you're listening to Satan. It's either you're dry or you're wet. That's just it. You know what I mean? It's either you're hot or you're cold. You don't have your own, there's no your own nothing. You understand? There's nothing new under the sun. That's what it says in Ecclesiastes. There's nothing new. There's nothing. Everything is there before. So when you say you're walking in your own lane, you're really just not walking with the Lord. You understand? That's really all it is. You doing your own thing. I just like to do me. Really, you just want to do what you want when you want. And so does everybody else. You get the point? So now, if you have a child that's pressing the parent, you got to get to the root of it. Before we get the peer pressure was the right thing, right? Now, before you get to the peer pressure, how does a child pressure a parent? Like, give me the dynamic of it. Like, okay, go ahead.
A child will pressure a parent by bringing up what their friends have, or she's getting this, or he's doing this, that, and the third. Why can't I do this?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So now, what is the pressure the parent is feeling?
With that example, the pressure the parents feeling is that they don't want their child to be left out.
Okay.
Because when a parent hears something like that, especially a female, which is I don't mean to say she's weaker, but especially a mother, right? The mother will go out her way to buy trick or treat candy for the child, because she don't want the child to miss the experience of going trick or treat. She will force her father to buy Christmas gifts.
Okay, so now let's go there.
Right.
The pressure. Right. She's not feeling the pressure because she's doing what?
Who?
The mother.
The mother?
Right.
She's not.
Okay, no, let me rephrase that. Because you said she'll go out of her way to do whatever, to buy whatever.
To feed the child.
Right. Why does she have to go out of her way?
Because she don't want the child to feel left out.
She wanted trick or treat too.
No, okay.
She wanted to put on the costume too.
Not that part. Not that part. We will get there. But it's something else.
It's a lot because the child is being covetous. wanting something that somebody else has, and so she's being pressured because the child is coming.
Okay, no, it's different. It's okay. The child is not going to steal a gift, neither is the mother. That's where covetousness comes in. There's nothing wrong in admiring something somebody has and wanting one like it. Covetousness is when you admire something somebody has and wants that one. You understand the difference? You want that one. Hey, that's nice, brother. Where you got that? Yeah, I got this in so-and-so. You know how much it costs. You can ask where the store is. You just wait until he takes it off, puts it down, go into the bathroom. Anybody see my so-and-so? No, let me help you look. That's covetousness. You get the point? Admiring something somebody has and wanting one like it, it's not covetousness. That's just human nature. You get the point? The brother ain't come through today. How much brothers ask you about your headpiece? How much brothers ask you about yours? Anybody wanted the one you have, or they wanted you to make one like it? Oh shit! But that's okay. Do you understand the difference? You ain't looking at it like, damn, I'm going to take that from him. You're not looking at it like that. You're looking at it like, that's fly. I want one like that. You get the point? That's admiration. If that was covetousness, nothing would sell. A car, Toyota would make one Corolla. Because if they make another Corolla like that one and somebody wants another one, that would be coveting. You get the point? Like coveting is when you want that thing that's his possession and you want to take it from him and make it yours. That's coveting. That's different. I'm going to give you one more for the question. I'm just getting it for time's sake, because we definitely see we moving on. The stress the parents feel is always financial. It's never moral. It's never a moral stress. It's always financial. Samayam, how does the mother go out her way to get the gifts or the candy?
She has to work for it. Hopefully she has to work for it.
She got to work overtime. She got to get that supervisor to sign off on some overtime, or get a second job, or go do Uber, or onlyfans.com. You get the point? Come on.
Slightly, sir, if I may. Slightly, sir. I was going to say, the mother or the father,
I'm listening.
They go out their way to get the gifts or whatever. But
come on.
It's almost like I had it right there. It'll come back.
So come on with it.
If I could, it's like a lot of parents, mother and father, a lot of times the father, both parents will try to go out of their way, and the leading thing on their mind, they'll say they're trying to give their children what they never had. And like you just said, when it goes back to when they didn't have when they was a child, it was always a financial problem. You know what I mean? So, but that same really was behind that. It's not morals. Like you want to,
like you want to give this child a good upright bringing.
Right.
That's not it. It's really always a financial thing. Go ahead. He get his point now.
So good, sir, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
And they want that compliment to say, that I provided for my child, in abundance.
Well, now that's where the peer pressure comes in. Right? The stress that they feel, like you was asking, is really financial. Because if that parent had money, they wouldn't give a damn. They wouldn't wait till Christmas to buy whatever. Right. They'll just buy it. Right. Now, the Christmas time, they buy any stuff because it's on sale. Most of the Christmas shopping is done Black Friday, traditionally. Right? That's when parents really go buy shit and just hide the thing. The parents who doing this thing here now is the ones who did overtime between Thanksgiving and today. And they gained them bonuses. So now they're running up in the store like crazy to buy everything. You get the point? But it's usually a financial thing that drives them, that increases the stress. And the stress comes from, I don't have the money to buy this. Right? Now, I'm speaking from the perspective of the parents in the world who doesn't know Christmas is satanic. They just think they're doing it, Christmas is good, they're Christians and whatever, and they're buying stuff for their children because that's what they do. The stress they feel is financial, right? When you look good, taking it back now to the peer pressure, as you say, they don't want the kid to feel left out because now everybody is doing it. You get the point? Everybody is doing this thing and they don't want to go against the grain. So whatever the child is giving the parent is what the parent really taught the child to do. But it's not specific to Christmas. You understand? It's not that choosing pleasure, that choosing, to feel good instead of disappointment or swallowing something bitter. That is what's the real problem here. You get the point? That's what the real problem is. It's nothing else. Give me train up a child in the way they should go. Whoever have it.
Proverbs chapter 22.
The book of Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
Right? Train up a child in the way they should go, and when they're old, they're not going to depart from it. That child has gotten the training to choose pleasure. You understand? That child has gotten the training to get caught up in what everybody else is doing, which is something difficult to teach a child because children are, fickle. You know what I mean? You yell at them now, they cry, and in 2 seconds, let me tell you a joke. Look at what I could do, and they're laughing and smiling and doing cartwheels and shit because they're fickle. They don't hold anything that's serious. But when you train them up in this type of behavior, that's all they're going to grow up to be. That child who's stressing the parent learned from a parent who was once a child who stressed their parent. You get the point? So now it comes from the upbringing, right? You could do different things with your children to cut them out of seeking pleasure. What's one thing that children react to everywhere? No matter where they are, they're on the playground, they're walking on the street. What's one thing? Tell me, I'm smiling. You probably still react to it right now. He's smiling at me like, what the fuck is that?
I still react to it right now.
I was thinking a classic ass whooping. So
well, shit, hell yeah, that's true. But I'm talking about something that they see as, they want because it's pleasure. What am I talking about?
Sister online, Rapawanda said, ice cream man.
The ice cream truck. They hear that ice cream music and they come running.
Right.
They don't see the truck. They don't see the ice cream. It could be Freddy Krueger outside.
Right.
Ice cream. Remember Eddie Murphy did? You're only old enough to remember. Remember Eddie Murphy did a skit on Raw? Ice cream! Ice cream, ice cream, ice cream! Because of that music. Now, if you don't stop going.
Another thing children react to. I remember a brother in the world. I've heard the same scripture in Proverbs. Train up a child, right? He didn't like. He felt offended, right? His daughter. He never ate meat in his life. He's a Guyanese brother. He pork nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he feed his daughter bacon all the time,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I brought that scripture. He didn't like it, but I was telling her like, no, she just like the smell of bacon. It's like we all like the smell of it, just like the ice cream truck. The sound is epic to us as a child.
Right.
The smell of bacon is epic to everybody.
So what he was saying, that the dog was loving the bacon or something?
No, his daughter.
His daughter.
He would give his daughter bacon because that's his daughter. He can't tell her no.
Well, how long ago was that?
This was like 10 years ago.
Well, she's a whore now. Salakia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I apologize to the brother. But if you would feed her, something that she just likes to put in her mouth at what, 6. When they get older, they like something else, and he don't know that. He doesn't understand that thing. So I can almost guarantee his daughter is a full out shame to him right now. You get the point? Right. That ice cream, the ice cream song, the thing going, the children react to it. You can stop them from reacting to the song. You could ask them what they're talking about. Ice cream truck, where's the ask them, how is this ice cream music? Is an ice cream cone singing the song? Like, you could ask them and see their face as they start to reason the thing out. Why is this music making you run? And you see them realize it's because of other children. You understand? You never ran to the truck. You never showed them the truck was ice cream. How do they know? Because on TV, it shows the kids running to the truck. When they're on the playground, they see other kids running to the truck. Right. Other children teach them that. You get the point? Right. And you could teach them right then and there that other children are stupid. Right. You understand? You could just teach them that right then and there. You listen, how you know what's in that truck? You mean you need music to eat an ice cream? You can't just tell me you want ice cream when we go to the store. There's ice cream. This is how stupid it is. In everyone's house who runs to the truck, there's ice cream in the refrigerator. There's ice cream right there in the refrigerator. But that music, they're bawling through the house, knocking shit over, going up, breaking the piggy bank, begging you, please, please, ice cream. And there's ice cream in the fridge. It's stupid. But it starts with small things like that. And before long, she has her OnlyFans because she got to pay bills. Right. Come on.
Right. So I think you mentioned that before. So that's basically the making of a whore right there.
It's to keep it general. It's the making of a weak individual.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's the making of a weak individual. You get the point? Okay. Let the young man sit up front. All right. Sit up front, young man. Don't sit back there, bro. Say again. I think he good at either one of these seats back here. He's just too far back behind the pillar. All right. It's the making of a weak individual, somebody who can't. Music gives them an order. You understand how weak that is? A song gives you an order. So now, if you are a slave to the ice cream truck, when Nelly say it's getting hot in here, what are you doing? Right. Remember in the beginning, he said, unless you're going to do it. He said, nah, I'm just playing. And then he said, unless you're going to do it. Because that's the element that we grow with. Get the point? Come on, what was going to say?
No, I was going to say, like, as far as the ice cream truck, like, for any of the brothers in here, as far as I'm concerned from personal experience, like, none of us ever, like, actually introduced them to the ice cream truck. Like, you be in the house, the kid hears some way. Yeah, I mean, they already know the song. You never actually said we walking outside and, hey, look, that's the ice cream truck.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think any of us have experienced that.
So exactly. So where did you learn it from? Right. It's an influence from outside. You get the point? Come on.
What you said was so heavy as far as music give us orders. Like I remember being young, we never needed weed or liquor to do anything. We used to hit Onyx and whatever, rowdy music, and we go out there and terrorize the whole goddamn. Just because of what we
Annie up. Go ahead. Yeah, but it's you see, that's where it starts, right? But if you train a child up to think instead of reacting, just think about what you're doing and watch what's going on. It's something you have to train a child to do because a child is so carnal. They're born carnal. I'm not saying carnal like as an evil thing. The carnal means of the flesh, or very sensual, meaning responsive to things that stimulate your flesh. You get the point? I'm too water. So, they cry when they're hungry. They cry when they're thirsty. They cry when this is, they're not formed yet any sort of character. Anything that can resist something. You get the point? That usually happens later in life, where they go through experiences, they get told no. That's another way to know a child who has not been raised correctly. The word no means they tear the store up, pull down the damn shelves and go down on the ground and kick up their feet and start acting out and swinging. That child has not been raised right. That child has not experienced enough disappointment. So, of course, when Christmas time comes and there's no gift under the tree, they're suicidal. When the birthday comes and they don't get the gift they wanted, but they get something that's just lesser value, they feel their parents don't love them. You get the point? Like it's all about training up that child. Go ahead. Select breakfast.
So like if I could. Now a lot of those just focusing on the daughters for right now, sisters. Like a lot of those young sisters that are now a little bit grown up. Like how do you know a lot of them went through that same type of childhood and had that same type of parental system? Was them type of women that once you try to get at them, they got a whole bill. They say this, my eyelashes cost this much, my nails cost this much. You got to pay this much for my shoes. I'm on a budget. This is my budget. If you can't support my budget, then it becomes, it becomes that thing where you're not fit to be that sister's man. But this is a lot of the same daughters that was raised on that gift.
Well, not necessarily. I do get your point, but not necessarily. That could also come from someone who grew up in severe poverty. You understand? And only seeing self-worth and glamour, which is another thing that plagues our community. Our community gets confident. Once again, the poverty, and we're so carnal as a people, we get our confidence from the things that glitter and the things that shine, which is why athletes and actors and superstars are so influential to us versus the person who is morally strong. You get it? Because there's no glitz and glamour in morality, which is why we dress the way we dress. You understand? How much people you ever hear say, you're supposed to be men of God and you're wearing gold chains and shit like that? Y'all, what's this with the shades? What's your thing? You're in a movie? You ever hear people say that? Because in the world, someone who is moral got to be a straw-eating, water-drinking, holes in the shoe, hermit living under a bridge. That's how, people view a morally, somebody who has integrity in the world. When in reality, might and power goes hand in hand. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, just like when they compare a young black man who wearing $300 pair of shoes and saying that's why he doesn't have money like Bill Gates. And Bill Gates, you look at Bill Gates and he just look all plain.
No, I would not make that comparison. I will not make that comparison because I too will tell a young man who has bills to pay who would rather go pay Bill Gates' bills instead of paying his. I too will tell a young man, you could not buy that one pair of Jordans for $300. You could resist. You could buy one of them black die-hard boots in Walmart and come sit in this class. You could pay $30. The Walmart boots is about $45, $50, maybe $60. You could pay $30 in tithes on that $300, and now you're left with what? $210. That's groceries, and that's be able for you to get back and forth to class for about a month until you get your next $300. I too will tell a young man what to do with that money, just like I'll tell a young girl what to do with that money instead of them goddamn how much ever they spend on them eyelashes and nails. You understand? Nothing wrong with looking fly, but of course, if you choose pleasure over what's moral at the time, or in this case, that's not morality, that's just wisdom. It's wisdom to know I'm not going to buy this thing that's going to give me, boost my self-esteem because I'm so destroyed. What I'll do is I'll put it somewhere else that makes sense, and I'll go find the men of the Lord so they could put something in my spirit that's missing. That $300 pair of shoes is they're trying to fill their spirit with something they know is missing, and that shoes is not going to fill their spirit because they're releasing one now. In February, they're going to release another color, and guess what's going to happen to that $300 one? It's not going to be as popping. You get the point? So I would not make the comparison that way. You get the point? The comparison I'm making is, okay, the value we place on certain things, that thing needs to change. That dynamic needs to change. That paradigm needs to change. You get the point? Once again, we tell you Christmas is satanic. You look at us because we wear studs and gold chains and shades, that we are carnal. That's what they say to us. Maybe you've never experienced it. That's why you're not seeing what I'm saying. Has anybody heard that at camp? Why you all wearing all this gold and stuff? Like, you're supposed to be what? Say it again. What do you, Mike?
Men of the Lord.
Yeah. You're supposed to be men of God. So men of God not supposed to look like this. Who's supposed to look like this? The pastor, or who else? Hustlers who celebrated Christmas. You understand what I'm saying? It has to change. I'm telling you, don't celebrate Christmas and come and learn here. You reject it. You reject that thing because you want pleasure. You do not want the hard decision. You understand? You do not want to now be, you don't want to subject yourself to some momentary pain. You get the point? You don't want to do that. Let me give you another thing. Since Barack not the sisters, I have to repair it, because they're going to comment and say, yeah, y'all don't like women. Like what brought them last week at camp. Brothers, first time in the truth. When you come in and you find out you can't get no more shape-ups, how hard is it for that 90 days? Come on, Kagata. Tell the truth and make the devil a liar.
When I found out about that, I was like, dang, I'm gonna lose some sisters. I'm trying to go.
You listen here. You start counting the cost right now. You already counting it down, because why? You have a moment of discomfort. But how many brothers did choose the pleasure? Did leave up out of here to go get a shape up? I done seen them. I done seen many. You get the point? So it's you have to get trained to choose the difficult thing. And it's not natural to do that. It's even the laws of physics would tell you, things flow where there's least resistance. You understand? Things flow from a high pressure to a low pressure. You leave during winter time, you leave the door open. What do your parents say?
Do not stop
letting my heat out, because that's how it flows. You get the point? Things flow where there's least resistance. That's just how it flows. The plumbing in your house, the plumbing pipes that you deliver to your house is about this small. Why? Because it takes a lot of pressure to push that water through. When you open a tap, you're now creating a path of least resistance. You understand? That's easy to go through, so the water comes rushing out, and then it just tapers off. So now that's how things naturally happen. People choose the least hard thing to do. You have to train somebody to do the thing that's hard to do. That's it's the decision it's not easy, but this is what I should do. You literally have to train somebody to do that. You get the point? When you're playing sports, does anybody want to go to the gym and get wobbly legs after? You look forward to that shit? If you tell me you look forward to it, I know you're lying. Nobody wants to do it. Nobody literally wakes up and wants to do it without incentive. But now you get to train your mind like, I need to do this. I need to do this. And you willingly go and put your body through hurt for something better. You willingly submit to the harder thing. You brothers in Hebrew Academy, how much y'all in here? Right? Do you want to be out there Sunday morning? Is it fun? Is it fun? 6 o'clock in the morning. 7 o'clock you're in the line because I come out the car with the heat on with a cup of coffee, sipping, and then finds a reason to tell you do push-ups in the cold grass. Do you be like, let me go up there and get checked today for 8 hours in the snow? Do you wake up like that? But you choosing to do this difficult thing for another reason. You get the point? Okay. Now you're gonna have to find some way to make that into your child's spirit. If not, you just have a whole cycle of a parent just being a pleasure glutton and the child being another pleasure glutton. And that's that. Come on, Shepard.
I just want to I just want to stand there because he immediately found something for us to drop.
No, listen. And listen. Give Kazak a hand. No, I know he ain't bullshitting out there. Now, if you have been paying attention, why is Kazak immediately looking for something to make you drop for? Kaga?
He want to see, especially if this is for you, you're going to quit and just run away.
Well, that's the second reason, and I'm going to rephrase it. Kaga said, say it one more time.
It's like you want to see spiritually, is this for you or you going to be a coward and run away?
Right, that's the politically correct. But Kaga's, a real professional guy, smooth, like, so you don't do that smooth, right? But he's looking to see if there's any bitch in it. That's the second most important reason. What's the first reason? If you've been paying attention in class. The first reason he does it. Come on, Rawadia.
Are you woke? Are you woke this morning? Like,
it's something else.
Sloppy he's seeing if you're willing to go to war with your brother.
That's the second reason. That's once again, that's to see if there's any bitch in there.
To get Satan up out of our mind.
And once again, to see if there's any bitch in here. There's one reason. It's the same reason we was discussing with the child and the parent.
For lack of a better word, but to put some pressure on you.
That's to see if there's any bitch in here. Pressure is to see if you're gonna break. That's why you fill up a car tire with air, pressure it up. That's why you do tests on things to see if it's gonna break. You see if there's weakness. That's the second most important reason. There's another reason. Kaga?
Sloppy to make you quit.
That's to see if there's any bitch in you. Because I'm doing this job, I can tell that.
Sloppy to see if you can follow orders.
You closed it, but that's again to see if there's any bitch in you.
The trainer so that we'll do it to the next.
So then why is he doing it to you?
Because somebody did that to him.
Give him a hand. That's UPK. Whatever you experience in here is not brand new. A nigga got checked in 75 the same way. 1971, somebody was getting checked and blown out the goddamn park the same way you getting checked, or you gonna get checked this Sunday morning. Yeah. Oh, you thought it wasn't gonna get checked this Sunday? Show up. Just go ahead and show up. Go ahead.
Did they even experience the wet snow yet?
Listen, I'm praying it snow this winter, Salaki. I'm going to be there with Kazak for moral support. I don't like to interfere. I like to let the young men play. But for moral support, some brother confessed. He says, "Sir, when I hear the Jeep engine coming, I get depressed." I was like, "Yes!" Started yelling like Goku. Ah! I done leveled up in this bitch. Go ahead.
Whenever you showed up, I got depressed.
Listen, good, because I've learned from the man above me. You get the point? That's what you were taught. So now when you in that position, you're not going to teach anything different. You're not going to water this thing down. You're going to drive the bitch out of whoever is in there. And you're going to make sure they know this is the way. This is our way. And we embrace it. Now, with with the weakness, right? With the second point, if you let weakness in, let's say you let weakness in. That's why the Hebrew Academy is designed the way it is. Let's say you let the weakness in on this side, and this person makes it over the obstacle. What happens the next generation when it's their time to teach? You let weakness in, and they make it over the obstacles. This happened to. Right? The scripture says some have crept in unawares. They make it in. what happens to the next generation they're trying to teach?
If I'm, they'll be watered down.
Why? Why would they be watered down?
Because they crept in. They was not teach properly.
No, they were taught properly. They crept in unawares. So now, because if they wasn't taught properly, everybody would have crept in. There's other brothers who did not creep in and sisters who did not creep in. So now this is you creeping in unawares. That's in the Bible. Some have come amongst us unawares. So now they're in, the next generation's going to be watered down. Why?
Because of the way they made it in, but the way they teach is a lot of slack.
Why is it a lot of slack?
They didn't take it seriously.
On topic.
On topic. It's a lot.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Salami, they were weak and they slipped past. So when they teach the next class, they're going to allow weakness as well.
But why are they allowing the weakness?
Because they didn't fish it out.
It's the exact topic of the class.
They allow the weakness because they didn't like the check-ins and so on and so they felt like you know what,
they despised the harsh tutelage. While they was doing the push-ups and running and the sisters getting checked to shut your mouth and wear something better, they despise it. And one day I'm gonna make a change. And then you have to put the faggots. No headpiece, no shield. You know, we're not calling the white man the devil or the oppressor. Let's blame Israel instead. This place is for somebody who loves the blood, sweat, and tears. You understand? This place is for somebody. Lahab in California broke his nose in the trial. He left the truth? Nah. General Shalma in our Hebrew Academy ripped his calf muscle off his bone. In the academy. Did not leave. There was another brother in the academy. We doing the hills, coming back down the hill. He slipped and fell and broke his ankle. I saw it spin around. Left the truth. Brothers get injured. It's war. But you leave because the harshness, you don't love it. You don't embrace this place. You don't embrace it. You really low-key just want it to change. You get the point? And that's how you get Christmas out. That's how you get, 4th of July. That's how you get birthdays, because, it's too hard to hug this thing that's prickly and rough. Give me, prophesy unto us, Holy Scripture, if you know where it is. Go ahead.
When we were in Philly just a couple of weeks ago, I just wanted to be honest, and Captain the car asked if we have any interviews. And I was telling him, like, technically I have a back injury, but it never affects me. And he told me to go off to the side, and I couldn't participate in the exercise. And I was vexed. I was like, but I can do it though. You know what I mean? So I just kept like asking him, can I get in there? Can I get in there? And he eventually said, well, you're gonna pretend like you ain't say that. Get in there. You know what I mean? And I wanted to be in there, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, that's true. Okay, it's okay. This is the other thing with that, you're gonna learn it, right? Just slightly off topic. Sometimes you're gonna get an order you don't like, and you're gonna have to do what? Was the last part of the title? Be disciplined. Sometimes that order might be to sit there until the dog grows legs and comes into the truth. And you had to sit there. You get the point? So now he gave you the order, you follow the order. Then you ask him to come in, he told you no problem, come in. But it's again not yielding to your will. You understand? But yielding to somebody else's purpose. That's discipline. You get me? Give me the scripture I wanted real quick, please. Go ahead.
Book of Isaiah. The book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 10, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets.
Give me the verse above it.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 9, that this is a rebellious people.
Say it again.
That this is a rebellious people.
Say it one more time.
That this is a rebellious people.
Right, go ahead.
Lying children.
Say it what?
Lying children.
Rebellious people, lying children, young man. That was a question, right? Rebellious people, lying children. Go ahead.
Come. Children that will not hear the law of the Lord.
Children that would refuse to hear the laws of the Lord. You understand? That's who we are as a people. That's why Christmas is so rampant. 4th of July is so rampant. That's why sin is so rampant. Because we don't hear our Father's orders. We don't listen to it. We just do whatever. I'm in my own lane. I'll do whatever I want to do. Whatever feels good to my soul and spirit and flesh. That's what I'll do. Right? Go ahead. Come on.
If I may, the lying children part hit me because I didn't grow up celebrating any holidays, right?
Mm-hmm.
But whenever somebody in my class asks me, yo, what you get for Christmas? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? I'm getting all type of Power Wheels and G.I. Joes.
Listen, once again, the peer pressure is there. You don't want to be left out. It's part of the culture. You get the point? Go ahead.
Verse 10, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things.
Right? They say to the seers, see not, meaning don't look over here, man. Don't look at all this thing I'm doing here. You get the point? And they say to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. Don't tell us the right thing. I don't want to hear all that when you're talking about Christmas being evil, Christmas satanic. I don't want to hear that. I'll keep going.
Come. Speak unto us smooth things.
What kind of things?
Smooth things.
What kind of things?
Smooth things.
God ain't going, he ain't going to kill you for, a little pork. You know what I mean? That's what they want to hear. You know what I mean? Christ wasn't born on December 25th, but we just do it for what? For the who?
Children.
For the children. Did the child ask you for a tree? Or they ask you for the G.I. Joe? So what the tree doing in the house? You're doing this for yourself. You're just selfish and lust-filled.
Right.
You understand? You want to hear smooth things. Go ahead.
Prophesy deceits.
Prophesy deceits. Right? Our people would rather hear lies than the truth. You understand? Why? Why do we rather hear lies than the truth?
Lies are smooth. They make you feel good.
Lies make you feel good, boy. The truth hurts.
So like, if I may, Darius Hamish, he got a song called in the song. He talking about sweet lies, because a woman loves to hear sweet lies. You know,
listen, men do too. Don't blame it on the sisters. Y'all be one-sided on a mother of it here. you thinking niggas don't want to hear lies too? Listen, you meet abroad for the first time. Who is he? That's my uncle. Yes. Who is he? He's just a friend. He's my gay friend. And you know this nigga ain't gay. You know he getting busy with that broad. But you just like what? You like to hear what? You like to hear the lie. You don't want to hear the truth, because the truth means what? You can't have her.
If I make the gay friend is smashed her too.
Listen, any man around her that's not daddy, Salakia. It's a little bit too extreme.
Perhaps daddy.
Some of them just ruined the whole class. Some of them, let's go back to Baltimore. Just go on back. All right, somebody else had their hand up? No sweat. What's the scripture somebody's holding? Go ahead.
no accountability of responsibility.
Yeah, basically. No,
to hit the smooth things and the lies. You know?
That's really it. But really, it's okay. The truth gives you, as you say, responsibility. Now it gives you the burden of responsibility. You understand? Because now if she says, okay, this dude, I'm messing with this dude, or he's a friend with benefits, you know, or what? What's the other codes now? There's some new real slick codes now. I'm used to the friend. I'm from the friends with benefits era. Yeah, I mean, I'm from, you know, yeah, he slides through every now and then. What's the new codes? There's some new codes. Say again?
Oh, snap. Sneaky link.
It's okay. Well, that to me is blatant. That's obvious. That's obvious. Like, you know, there's some, you know, he's my friend. He always looks out for me. You know, he brings me food and we just chill. Like, that nigga tapping on. You get the point? But now, if it is that you know, what's your responsibility now? What's the responsibility to you if you know she's having sex with this man?
It's like in the school or just in general?
Well, it should be in general. That's the end aim of every camp speaking, that every nigga would listen.
To leave.
Yeah, walk away from her. Why?
Because she's a whore.
No. She belongs to another brother. And if you want her, now you're coveting. Right, Shapat? Shapat is like, what are you asking me? Right? That's the responsibility of it. But without the truth arc, the lies just let you do whatever the hell you want. You get the point? It just lets you do whatever the hell you want. And that's the spirit behind Christmas. That's the spirit behind Thanksgiving, 4th of July, birthdays, everything outside of the truth. It's the spirit of Christianity. You get the point? To choose pleasure. Choosing pleasure is everything. It's, you know, what's some other excuses you hear that people use for, you know, these holidays that are satanic?
It's not, so the one I hear all the time is that they doing it just to get together with the family.
They're doing it for the family. Why? Because this is the only time, you know, I ain't seen Uncle Petey in, you know, a month of Sundays, you know, forever. You know, well, if Uncle Petey could only make time on Christmas, then Uncle Petey just don't want to see nobody. You understand? But that's, once again, you have to teach somebody that thing. You have to teach somebody that thing. That thing does not come naturally. What comes naturally? Oh, so-and-so in town? Let's go over there. That's natural and normal, right? But what's not natural is, who over there, man? Everybody. They over here, the kids. Did you know Keisha just had a baby? Yeah, look just like her. And this one here, and cousin so-and-so. And you'll be like, I'll see y'all tomorrow. But they're going to be gone. You got to teach somebody that. Go ahead.
So if I may, some of them don't have self-power too. What I mean by that, like some brothers that's freshly in the truth, whenever they have a family member that's still celebrated and they don't want to, they always give in. They're like, you know what, I don't want to hurt his feelings. And then they celebrate it to make them happy.
Well, listen, once again, you have to teach somebody strength. Silaki, tell me, you had your hand up, right? Silaki, go ahead, tell me. So, what scripture I was holding? Is there any more on it? That's about it. Somebody get for me. Hold on. I'll come to you, tell me. What the fuck do I want? Wisdom of Solomon 1, I believe. Go ahead.
So like, I want to give an example of Uncle P, what you brought up, right?
Go ahead. Wisdom of Solomon 2, and also Genesis chapter 3. Go ahead, please.
Example of Uncle Petey. In the world, Uncle Petey was a child molester. Uncle Petey, nobody liked Uncle Petey, but the reason why Grandma or Big Mama wanted the whole family to come together is because of Uncle Petey. Everybody shunned him, but on that particular day when the turkey being cut and the ham is being ate, Uncle Petey was allowed around everybody else. Even though everybody know Uncle Petey molested like three individuals in the household.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But Uncle Petey was allowed.
Right. And of course, everybody is rushing to the Christmas because of that. everybody's rushing to it. Go ahead, young man.
So it's so funny that you said, because on my way up here, my mother asked, was I going to come down here with Saturday after? And I was like,
come down where? I don't understand.
Come back to it was I go come down to the house because my nana.
Okay, so while they're coming to class, they want to know if you're coming to the house on Saturday.
Right. So,
go ahead.
So I hit her with a now I got camp to go to.
Hell yeah, give him a hand. Give him. Listen, there's so much ways you can do it. And once again, before you didn't know that. Now you learn in strength. You learn in what matters. Like now, you could also tell them something I used to do. Say, listen, I'll come to the next Christmas party you'll have when you'll come to Passover. That usually ends it. Say, you coming this year? I ain't see you at Passover this year. If you really want me to, you breaking the deal. You keeping me from coming. That's really what's going on. I want to come and you know, open some gifts with you, but you wouldn't come to Passover. There's nothing I can do for you. You know, help me, help you, help me. I see you at Passover. What's that? What's a smidgen? It's a little taste. Go ahead. Who are they, Hannah? Go ahead,
I'm still not going, but what if they just happen to just come to the Passover, you know, so they come back at you, you know, because I mean, you got some family members that just be smart, just to be, you know,
let them come.
Yeah,
let them come.
Yeah, I'm still not going.
No, I want to see them come to the Passover.
Yeah, I want to see them come too.
Yeah, and listen, they had to come just like they want me to come to the Christmas thing and, you know, bring gifts and bring a bottle. They had to pay that $200 per adult, $200 for everybody 17 years and over, right? They had to come down there and stay the week and, you know, go to the Feast of Unleavened Bread. They got to wear fringes because they expect me in that goddamn ugly ass sweater. They got to come to the Passover. They got to come to the Passover, not just be there. Okay, listen, I ain't got no response because they ain't coming. But if you say you have family that will do it, bring him. I want to see that. Listen, no problem. I'll go to the Christmas shit. We're gonna have camp up in that bitch. I'll go up right there at the table and pull out Jeremiah, 10, and make them ask me to leave. However, they're not ever going to come to the Passover. That's it. If you say you have family that will come, I want them to come. Let me see that. And they can't just, are showing up and then staying out. No. You got to go and get that oil. You got to go and salute the Torah. You have to be at the Passover. Because when I come there, you're going to want me to do what? Could I just come there and stay in a room on the side and drink? Why don't you come talk to everybody? Meet the family. Take pictures. I want to see you next to the giant menorah in Florida, with fringes on like this. Or if you're a woman like this. I want to see that. Now, will your family do all that? You got faith in that family, boy. No. You got faith like a mustard seed in that family.
My cousin did come to the Passover.
He didn't come to no Passover. That nigga had on a plaid shirt and didn't want to say shalom to nobody. How do you mean I saw him? I cut him off mid-speech. Talking some dumb shit. I said, don't you all got Hebrew Academy something to do? And y'all both went off, and I saw him watching me at the corner of my eye. I'm like, yeah, faggot. Yeah, there's a separation in here. Yeah. He didn't come to no Passover. If he came to the Passover, the workers down on the ranch was at the Passover. Were they at the Passover? The people who work the ranch staff, they attend the Passover. Well, that's how he attended. He was in there with a plaid shirt and tennis shoes, talk some vile conversation. He wasn't at the Passover. I want to see you come to the Passover. Did he pay? He didn't pay no goddamn $200. You sick?
He brought his $200. I wasn't there.
I ain't collected.
He brought $200 to come. I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna check the list. You have good faith in this damn faggot. Salakia. I'm gonna check the list. They keep a list. Give me his name. I'm gonna hit Shamawala right now. There's a list that gets kept at the door. Yeah, you don't just come in and pay whatever. But if you say it is that he paid his money, Well, then, you know, I guess you got a Christmas party to go to, because that nigga came to the Passover. Ho, 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 nigga. You get it, point? Listen, you better go. He paid his Shabbat, he paid his 200. Go on down there, Shabbat, and drink that eggnog. Go on down and drink that eggnog. Let me get Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. You want to sit here and convince me a damn weed head? Does he smoke weed? And you tell me he paid $200 to some strange niggas? He bought that for weed. He didn't get that to Shemawala. He probably asked Shemawala who have it, and Shemawala said, "Get behind thee, Satan." You want to sit here and convince me he paid $200 to Commander Yahanna for, you know, the lamb and the wine, a weed head. That's who you vouching for? Shabbat, listen, we got to revise the registry, though, Shabbat Salak. You vouching for a weed head up in here. Oh, so wait, did he pay or did he not pay? Did he pay? I'm asking you, did he pay? Did he pay? Now you're saying you don't know. Listen, you don't recant, Salak. Listen, next time, don't vouch for no faggot. Don't vouch for no faggot in the world over in here. That nigga is not up in here. You want them to, they want you to go down to that Christmas thing. Let them come to the Passover. Come to the Passover. Send that money in. Send them tithes in. Get a garment. Get a dress. Get a headpiece. Come up in there and rock and roll. I don't want no nigga coming in after 8 p.m. He brought $200. Nigga is a weed head and a sodomite. No, you angry with me because I don't show up at your Christmas thing? You come to the Passover, then we can talk. You get the point? Now give me Wisdom of Solomon quickly. 2 and 1.
Come, sir. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon. Chapter 2, verse 1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright.
Say it again.
But not aright.
They were not aright. Go ahead.
Our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave.
What is that saying?
It's like if I may say, could you use this for Esau or those? Could you use this for Esau or those of our people that live like Esau? Meaning they live for pleasure for that day, for whatever that lust wants at that time. That's what they live for. And especially in this Christmas season, that pertains especially to our people, because like Jeremiah Hyman brought out in his class, it's a temporary or fluctuating happiness. It's not a real happiness.
It's not a real happiness. It's absolutely not a real happiness, right? And they live that way because they think that's it with life. Like there's no other meaning to life, right? Go ahead.
So, like, sir, if I may, is it also saying that life is short, so you might as well just live your life, just do anything?
You might as well just do it. Live your life. Life is short. Once again, seeking after that, pleasure, that pleasure that just, there's no end to it. There's more pleasure and more pleasure and more pleasure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Verse 2. For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we have never been. For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the mooring of
so
our
like
heart.
You need an apocrypha, or the phone giving you trouble? Is that a little too small? So read it one more time for me if you don't mind.
This is wisdom. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, verse 2. For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we have never been. For the breath in our nostril is as smoke, and a little spark in the moving of our heart.
And what does that mean? Kaga?
That's like incarnation.
Yeah, give me what it means, brother. Anybody knows? Who could break it down for me?
Yeah, verse 2, sir.
What verse he was reading now?
Verse 2.
Did the smoke affect any baby or he good?
No, he just.
You sure? Okay. That's Asha? Sis, that's Asha?
This is actually.
And listen, the computer in my way, so you already know I know how to cough. I told you that's my nigga, man. Don't play with me and Asha, man. Go ahead. Who knows it?
So like sir, this is the wicked saying, meaning life is so short and it's quick. You know, we're born pretty much. I wouldn't say it's the same. We're born into sin, but we're born into this life to enjoy. Life is for us to enjoy at all expense, even if it means being wicked, which is the case.
All right. Anybody else?
To piggyback on what he was saying, what Dr. Ma said with the spark, right? This life is popping. So we have a short life to live, so it's YOLO. We could do what we do.
Okay. Go ahead, Al.
Basically saying he be found in the temple, not so like those who do the will of the Most High. They will show like His Spirit, so you'll find His Spirit with them, and those who He showeth Himself unto those who do not trust.
What are you reading?
Stop! I got the wrong one. Stop! I'm reading chapter 1.
Shouldn't have fought for that cousin, Ak. Shouldn't have, you got lost. You got lost fighting for that dude, Ak. All right. So it's more so what the brother was saying before, right? They count in this life as just one thing to live, so they make it as lit as possible, right? They just make it as exciting as possible, as full of pleasure as possible.
I might have missed the brother. I think one of the brothers just said it, but if they didn't, then I'll just reiterate it. I think one of the brothers said YOLO. That you only live once. Phrase. I was sure a brother had already said that's a lock, but that is connected to
what we're reading now. Exactly. This here, what we're reading here about, and I want to also to touch on Genesis. All right.
Come on.
Before we rock on the time. Also, too, y'all go subscribe to Black Watch News on YouTube. You know, Commander Yahanna rock out every Wednesday too. Tonight he have a good interview with some of the survivors from the Kentucky Mayfield Candle Factory. Right, he interviewed some survivors, a sister who in the hospital jammed up bad, and another brother giving you the whole story about when the Lord came through there, boy. Right. One of them said it sounded like a train was running through the damn factory. You know what I mean? So go check it out live at 9, all right? Make sure you subscribe for it. Come on.
Salagi on the sidebar from the topic. Nupski said had a question about donation. He said I can't donate on he said I can't donate on YouTube. I wasn't sure if that was a question to ask how do they donate.
No sweat. You could go to
on the live they want to
no sweat. You could go to ISUPK.com. Go to that tithes and donations, and you could make your donation right there. Right there. ISUPK.com tithes and donations. You could make your donation right there, right?
That's awesome.
Okay, good. Salaki, Shapat. Okay, let me hear you.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 32. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do me? Basically saying he wanted his right then and there. And so he sold his birthright for a pot of soup.
And you saying that for what again?
For like the whole YOLO type of for the scripture, basically dealing with
Okay, that's in the same spirit. That's in the same spirit of it. All right, come on.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 2. Is this also pertaining to like basically like you always on party time? Like YOLO, I'm gonna be on party time. Since we live a short life, we might as well just live it up. So we just gonna party our life away.
Well, it may not necessarily even be the parties. It may not necessarily be the parties. It could be somebody who just like to get high all the time. You understand? They party by themselves. Even a real stone cold hardcore drug addict, they tell you, I'm going to party. That don't mean a room full of people. That mean me and these few rocks right here. You know what I mean? So it don't necessarily have to be partying. You understand? But it's a spirit that you have to experience pleasure. The moment it hurts, life is over. The moment it's something difficult, it's a nervous breakdown. You get the point? The little moment is a little bit difficult, you don't want to continue no more. You get the point? Come on. And it's over and over. Not for somebody who, you're going to meet something that could break you because this is the furthest you've ever stretched your mind or your spirit or your strength. And you got to stop. Just like if you're training and you ain't lift this heavy before. Now you're very sore. You can't go back and lift the next day. You take a break. You get the point? You got to rest and recover. But then there's somebody who all the time at 5, every time they get to 5, that's it. You get the point? That person can just never experience anything hard. Right? Go ahead.
So like, like in the spirit of that YOLO thing, that you only live once, it's really just selfish. You know what I mean? Like it's really just selfish in the aspect of you even if you don't believe in reincarnation, like you do have sons and daughters and little brothers and little sisters. Even if you don't got no family, there's other Black, Native, and Hispanic children that, rather you like it or not, looking at you, rather be a good example or a bad example.
Mm-hmm.
So to just live in that type of spirit, as to like a lot of brothers that do drugs, a lot of brothers and sisters that think they just on some other spiritual level, be on some type of thing like, man, I just be in my own cut. I don't bother nobody. You know what I'm saying? I just do what I do, man. I ain't harming nobody. Mm-hmm. Like even to be in that spirit, it's really just selfish, man. Like, cause you got people that rather be sons, daughters, brothers, sisters, cousins, nephews. There's somebody that whether you like it or not, that's looking at you, man. Cause that's just life. Rather you like when you walk out the door, you can think you ain't talking to nobody, don't need anybody looking at you.
That's the truth. This is the thing though. Before any of us came into the truth, how did we view Christmas or the holidays or whatever? How did we view it? What do you need?
The computer says it's not charging, but it's plugged in.
If it's plugged in the second, just plug it into the orange one.
This one don't work. So
let's plug it into the orange one. You could unplug that orange one. Hand the cord there to me. Just hand the cord to me. The white cord of me.
So can you repeat your question, please?
Before you came into the truth, right? How did you view the whole Christmas thing? How did you view, your Thanksgiving and New Year's Day?
We used to view it as a good, fun time, jolly and cheerful and happy.
That's how everybody. Nobody's thinking about the next person. Like it's okay. You have to understand. You have to be taught what's right and wrong. Nobody out there walking around is thinking I'm a selfish bastard. Nobody is. Everybody thinking I work for mine, you get yours. Everybody's thinking is you keep doing, you're gonna come up. Nobody's thinking, I'm really selfish for this. They're not thinking that. So at the same time you're bringing out the point, you got to understand where our people is at. Our people is in a place where our people think this is life. What we're going through, how we live is normal, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's absolutely nothing wrong. You get the point? And when they hear us as the first time, they realize that something is wrong with their life. And then you have the classic fight or flight. You get the point?
I have a question that has nothing to do with the holiday.
Okay, no sweat. Let me hear it real quick and then we'll move on. Right?
Okay. My question is about snitching. So
all right, let's get out after. All right, let's get out after. That was it, right? Anybody else had their hand up? Good. Let's continue with Wisdom of Solomon 2. Somebody look up Epicurean. Epicurean, please. All right, and keep reading.
Verse 2, well, verse 3, well, I'm at. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 3. Which begin extinguish our body shall be turned.
Which being extinguished.
Salakia. Verse 3. Which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air.
All right, go ahead.
And our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance. And our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun, and overcome with the heat thereof.
What is he saying? Anybody knows?
Can you read one more time, sir?
That's right. Sissy, you want to try it? Go ahead. What's the mic on? Really quick. Since you could say, these brothers are going to slide it over. The cord is long enough. Quickly, all right? Let's pull the cord.
Basically, after you die, nobody's going to remember you. Basically, they're not going to really remember you existed. Your name means nothing.
That's how they view death. That's it. That's how they view the end of their life on earth, right? That's how somebody who engages in pleasure so much, they view the end of their life as that's it. Their name is nobody gonna remember them. They can't live forever, so live forever now. Do all you could do now. Like the scripture said, do everything you could do today, because tomorrow is not promised. But they have it in a totally different spirit. You understand? They have it. They don't take count of the judgment of their life today for tomorrow. You understand? Who had the hand up? Somebody. Go ahead.
A great example of that, as far as brothers who watch TV shows, The Wire, Marlo, my name is my name. See, he focused on his name for the time being, but after his time was passed, was because he never got the crown.
Well, okay, that's a little bit different. I'm gonna tell you why, right? I'm not to get into it too tough. In that same series, he said he don't care if his time is short. He told the dude that he's like, yeah, but the end of this road is death. Do you really want the crown? He said, yeah, but at least I've got to wear it. Meaning he was in charge. He was the top dog. He just wanted to wear it for a time. That thing where he said, my name is my name, that's more so like how the Lord says, I am that I am. You understand? Like he's like, this is what I have. This is my reputation. You get the point? Go ahead.
Look, I got a question. If I could, like on the topic of that scripture, particularly that verse, could you say like this is another, I don't want to say curse, but a damage to our people, because Like we the only ones that kind of think like that. Like every race of people take our oppressor, for instance. They got, you know, they remember all of their presidents. They live a lifestyle, even, you know, a majority of their race or these races build for their inheritance for their children, their children's children, and they speaking of these people's names. Like a lot of our oppressor knows like their third great grandfather's name. Yeah,
okay. I wouldn't say it's specific to us. I would not say it's specific to us because we may not know our great grandfather's name, but we do know, you know, the stats of the NBA Finals in '81. You understand? We do know, you know, we do know different things that pertain to our history that's important to us. The example you make with the oppressor, that's not an example. I wouldn't say that's an example of him appreciating life more because he know the history of his foreparents. He's in power. You understand? Like you kind of have to know that type of thing. But they live way more reckless than we do. You understand? I wouldn't say this is for us. We have adopted their style, which is why our recklessness, it affects us more. We've adopted their lifestyle. You get the point? The oppressor celebrates Christmas too. What's the biggest problem for the oppressor? Christmas time.
Not making no money. Us not
buying from them. I mean, I don't even think they have problems like us. I don't really hear too much of, you know, shootings, the stabbings, the killings that going on. Maybe because I'm not living around them, but I don't really hear it too much. I do hear about us a lot though. I do hear about a ton of our children dying in house fires and this, that, the other. I don't really hear too much about them. Once again, we take on their lifestyle and fall into the, you know, pleasure, but it destroys us. It is not, you know, seeking to have that type of pleasure. It destroys us. We really seek to have the pleasure that they have. You get the point? All right, come on quickly.
It's like if I may, sir, there was a movie. There was an old movie with Sinbad and Arnold Schwarzenegger called Jingle All the Way. And the oppressor lives so deliciously. That movie perfectly described what his only problem will be around Christmas time, and it's not being able to find the damn gift for his kids. Like they live delicious where like even in that movie, Sinbad's problems, the brothers' problems were real life problems versus the damn white man's problems. It was like
it was nothing.
Yeah, it was nothing. I just need this toy for my son to be happy versus I need this toy so I can see my damn son every other weekend. And so I don't get put in jail as a child support. Like it's different.
It's different. Now, of course, both of them are seeking pleasure.
Right.
Both of them are seeking the courtesy of their child. Right. But of course, one man is in his kingdom and the other man is not. Right? He's seeking the child. The other brother is trying to pay a ransom to go see his kid because he's so destroyed. Right. Both should not buy anything. Right. You get the point? But I wouldn't say that we do it more than they do. It affects us more. Right. Just like, would you say we are more drug addicts than our oppressors? Do we consume more drugs? But shit, you know, a brother, you know, snort a line, he had to let the whole world know. He had to scream and yell and sing and dance. You know, oppressors snorting just before they go into the CEO board meeting and make $500 million deals. Get the point? Come on.
The oppressor, he who stole the line right before he represented me in court.
Salak. You gotta write a book for me. You gotta write a book. Snorting or crossing the line. Let me get scripture. Come on. Yo, last one. All right, come on. Real quick, all right? Quickly, let's go.
On the same note, confession. So Walt Williams, I was sitting there with Walt Williams and we were smoking. And he kept inhaling. So his cousin is my friend. And his cousin was like, I didn't know you had asthma. He said, this ain't no inhaler. This is weed. He said, I got it from my lawyer because in the meeting, the lawyer just kept hitting the inhaler. And he said the same thing to him. I didn't know you had asthma. He was like, nah, this weed. And he said, man, give me that. And he got it from the lawyer.
See, it's not. Anyway, let's go. The last one, all right? We getting off on too much different tangents, but.
So, I didn't have a comment. I was going to say the next scripture we're going into was the book of Genesis.
I had Genesis 3. I want to touch on one more on wisdom. You two, Okay, give me where we at in Wisdom Solomon 4. Let's switch the reader, please. All right. Give me verse give me hold on. Skip to verse 9.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 9. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place. For this is our portion, and our lot is this.
All right. What does that part mean? Who knows? Read it one more time.
Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place. For this is our portion, and our lot is this.
What does that mean? Go on, bro.
Salaki, I have to look at the word voluptuousness, but just using the context clues, is it saying like in the lifetime that we have, like right now, like we leave an inheritance? I forget the precept of the scripture. I feel like I forget the scripture, but paraphrasing is saying like how we supposed to leave something for our grandchildren. Is it saying that the tokens part regarding around?
Nope.
It's like, I mean, they're saying like let's live, like everybody live your life to its fullness, and okay, it's the term sowing your oats. Like let's leave whoever we are, you'll know we were here because of how much we enjoy ourselves.
Let's leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place.
Right.
You kind of had a, some of us could go back into our old man. Once again, this is really the oppressor.
Right.
You talk to anybody who's ever worked as a what's called them room service in a hotel.
Yep.
Not in Motel 8, but in the Ritz.
Right.
The day after New Year's Day. Right. And they'll tell you it's condoms on the damn ceiling fan. There's, semen in the sink. Excuse me, young man. Salaki. He old enough? He too wild. Your oppressor's a nasty man, young man. Make sure you get a, sister like your father did. Right? And don't have them as friends neither. Because they'll blame you for that shit. Remember I told you this today. The man who talked with funny accent told me you the devil. There's feces by the TV. You understand? Talk to any brother or sister who is in housekeeping in any decent upscale hotel. The night after the ball drop, brother, it's horrible in there, and they leave it everywhere.
Right.
Meanwhile, you take your woman to a hotel somewhere, you be indecent, leaving all the towels on a pile by the door. Some people, strip the whole bed with the sheets. You try to help the room service out. They just leave that there. They leave it everywhere because they're vile and they're disgusting. And guess what what they're leaving this hotel to go do? Go to the next one and do the same thing. The whole thing about trashing a hotel room. Remember how that was popular with the rock bands? And that's them. That's tokens of their joyfulness. The groupies, bringing up the groupies for the after party. That started with them. Yeah, that's their lifestyle. And that's how they got in different area code. That's tokens of their joyfulness all over. You get the point? All over. That's their lifestyle. All right. Skip me down to chapter 3 and verse 11. Yeah. Anybody looked up Epicurean? You have it there too? Yeah, the mic already. Go ahead.
Epicurean, sir?
Epicurean.
Epicurean. Epicurean.
You have it?
Yeah, defined or adapted to luxury or indulgence and sensual pleasures, having luxurious tastes or habits, especially in eating and drinking, relating to or characteristics of Epicurus or Epicureanism.
Anything else?
I said goes to Epicureanism.
I'll take that too if you have any more. So lucky. All right, go ahead.
Epicureanism is a system of philosophy founded around 307 BC, based upon the teachings
of the ancient Greek philosopher Epicurus.
Right, that's where it comes from. Right, this originally comes from a philosophy, like how you ever heard the word bacchanal? Right, it comes from a Greek god called Bacchus. That's the spirit of carnival. Any carnival, they always say there's a lot of bacchanal, which means a ton of partying and confusion all in one. Just revelry. Right, just think Super Bowl, the atmosphere after that. Let's see, multiply that by 10 and add a few naked women and alcohol and partying. Just think carnival spirit, right? That's the bacchanal from the god Bacchus, which was Greek god. Go ahead.
Okay. Epicureanism was originally a challenge to Platonism. Later, its main opponent became
Stoicism, right, from the Stoics. So you had the Epicureans on one side and the Stoics on the other side. Stoic is somebody who is extremely rudimentary by the book. Just think Catholic priest who would whip himself, right? It's like the extreme of Epicurean versus the atheist who just is a greedy glutton and full of lasciviousness. You get the point? Go ahead. Yes, some more.
Okay. Epicurus was an atomic materialist, following in the steps of Democritus. His materialism led him to a general attack on superstition and divine intervention.
You understand? So now this is where you have the conflict of the morality, because at that time the divine intervention was called superstition. And some God in the sky, people say your sky daddy, you obeying the sky daddy who's supposed to come and save you, XYZ. Now you trying to teach people that Christmas is satanic. It's in the Bible way before Christ. You're not supposed to do it. They look at you like you are superstitious. Like you so outdated, you stopping them from having all the fun they could have, which is where you get the whole thing. Like the brother was asking, the kids, listen, don't let us stop the kids from having fun. Kids have fun with sand art. You don't need to buy something. Kids have fun with an ant and what's called them thing? Magnifying glass in the sun. They melt the G.I. Joe and flip. You get the point?
So as a child, I had fun with this. With my hands.
With your hands. You remember playing Street Fighter, you didn't have no coins, you playing the Street Fighter on the ledge with your hands. Kids have fun with nothing. This is not for the kids. This is, again, that whole Epicurean spirit, that whole seeking pleasure versus the Stoics, right? The Stoics would not be us because, of course, we are not extreme like a Catholic church. Don't marry, don't do this, don't do that, blah, blah, blah. Whip yourself 10 times. That's more the Stoic way of things. But we're not Epicurean either. Once again, this is just two extremes of Greek society that is here today. You understand? Just think Democrat and Republican. Right? I think, there's some similar to that. All right? But comes from these ancient philosophies. That's about it.
It's more, but
that's basically it, right? So where we at now? Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 1? 3 and 11. Let me see. Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
10.
Oh, God, sir. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 10. But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imagination, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Lord.
Right, and that's what's going to happen this Saturday. Saturday's Christmas, right? That's what's going to happen this Saturday. Saturday morning and Saturday night, people are going to be out in the cold after a house fire. Somebody's going to get shot. Somebody's going to get stabbed. Somebody's going to get robbed because of their own imaginations. They're following after Christianity, following after this Christmas, which is really following after pleasure. Go ahead.
Somebody's tree is going to take the whole goddamn house.
The whole apartment complex, Ark. The whole up. You're going to kill Granny next door because of your lust for Christmas. Go ahead.
So I have a sidebar question if I could. I know we've heard it before Christmas Day and Christmas itself and New Year's, of course, but the term Christmas Eve, is there any correlation to how, like, we'll say like Eve having to deal with the term like naive or something like that. Is there any type of correlation between, like, is there any breakdown behind Christmas Eve?
I think there isn't. I totally forget about it. Eve, I know Eve here is like before. It's a before thing. I can't remember. It sounds familiar. I can't really remember what the general said. You remember?
It's like, sir, in this context, lies, so it just means even. Like
the evening before. That's where it usually comes from. But I think with New Year's, it's more relevant. New Year's, it's the whole thing with Kronos eating the kids before, and then he transfers into the new thing. So the Janus on the door, the Eve at the door, the Eve before you walk into a door. It's like that. I don't think there's I can't remember. Let me put it like that. I can't remember. Go ahead.
The Kronos and all that. Is that Greek or Roman?
It's the same. It's the same God. One is Greek, one is Roman. It's Kronos is one and Father Time is the other. I forget who is who. Kronos is Greek, right? I know it's the same God, but it's like Maya and what's the other one? Rhea. It's the same God, but one is Greek and one is Roman. Well, yeah, but okay, it's two different time periods you're talking about. So in the Greek Empire, he was called Kronos. I think in the Roman Empire that's Zeus, right? Father Time. It's Father Time. It's Kronos and Father Time. I believe is the two. Yeah, because chronology time, right? So it's the same person. It's just two different names they call them. You understand what I'm saying?
Wednesday is Zeus in a different time period.
Something like that. Can't really remember that part there now. Okay. All right, let me get some more on this real quick, all right? Go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
For whoso despises wisdom and nurture, he is miserable.
Say it again.
For whoso despises wisdom and nurture, he is miserable.
Why is he miserable? Let me rephrase that question. Why does he or she despise nurture and wisdom?
Why do we despise it?
You say he who despises nurture and wisdom is miserable. We know why they're miserable.
Right.
Because they despise wisdom and nurturing. But why do we despise wisdom and nurturing?
Because pleasure feels better.
Yes. Which means wisdom and nurturing is what?
It's correction. It's hard.
I wouldn't say correction. I would say it's hard. It's harder. Right? I wouldn't define it as correction. Right? But it's harder. It's harder to face, to do, because you're doing a lot of growth, a lot of strength comes through pain, comes through trial, it comes through going through something. And you shape how you think. 1 second, shapes how you think, shape how you act, it shapes your body. Your body changes with strength. It shapes your mind, it shapes what you say, it shapes your reaction. Your reaction to something changes because of pain. So that alone will make you despise correction. It will make you despise wisdom and nurturing. Get the point? Now in the world, what are we taught wisdom and nurturing is?
Love.
Say again?
Love.
I wouldn't define it like that either, because wisdom and nurturing that's painful is also love. You understand? The Lord loves us. That's why he sent us into slavery. For a carnal bastard, that's hard to understand. Why would the Lord do all of this? Where's God in all of this? A carnal person would never understand that shit. But let that broad in the house piss them off, though. He'll have dreams of killing her, though. But you can't understand why the Lord killed us for 400 years. Come on.
So, like, in many years before 2021, but in 2021, a lot of these children will call it doing too much. They will call it doing too much, or you being extra. If you're trying to show some type of, of course, speaking for the worldly folks, but just they would call it you doing too much, or you just being extra. You OD or you OC or something like that.
What is that? What's it? Okay, break it down a little more for me.
OC is like being out of control. Like it's that instance where like a parent at one point in time, like they'll ask you trying to go to your friend's house or something. They'll ask like who will be over there. You know what I mean? where's the address, you know, those type of things, and the kid would take it as you just being extra. Like, why you need to know? Why you need to know all that? Why you need to know who over there? Why you need to know where I'm at? I'm at least telling you where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? What do y'all? The parent will ask, what do y'all plan on doing? You know, those type of things that a kid in 2021 and many years before, once again, but they would respond like, they would say like, you know, why you being so, like, it would be the spirit like, oh man, my parents so extra, man. Like, you know, it would be that type of talk going on.
Okay, that ain't even correction, man. Somebody ask you where you're going, that ain't correction. You could lie. You could lie. That ain't even close to correction or nurturing. That ain't even close to it.
Come on.
I need what is people saying for, okay, what is the correction and nurturing that people despise? And it's not just kids.
How you should dress.
They'll take that. You was at camp Saturday, right? The broad was told to shut her mouth and she shouldn't teach the Bible. That was correction and nurturing. That was wisdom she received. Why did she despise it? Or why did? Go ahead.
Because she wants to talk, or because she wants to speak.
A little bit more.
Because she don't want the truth. She want to do what she want to do. She got it. Or that person has it in their mind. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna do me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do me. So I know some of them, Salakia, they know what is right, but they just don't want to. They don't want to succumb to that.
You don't want to yield. You don't want to yield to something. You don't want to yield to something that's over you, something that's more powerful than you, something that's over you, or the right thing. You don't want to bend your will. Go ahead.
Sir, if I may, people don't want. They despise the nurturing and the wisdom in this world because they simply don't love God.
That's the end. That's the reality of it. However, to the opposite of it, meaning where there's no wisdom and no nurturing and no correction, that feels good to someone. Free reign to run and do whatever you want to do, that feels good. It feels great. And you telling somebody to stop, don't do that. Punishment. That feels like, you know, fetters of iron. That's also in the Bible. That's in the Apocrypha. It feels like fetters of iron. So now you despise what's being told to you. You get the point? Come on.
I'm just going off of what you were saying. They just don't want to submit.
Because once again, it's harder to do that. It's harder to yield. You get the point? You yield to whatever you want to. And that's not life. You get the point? Come on.
Okay. Two precepts from the Apocrypha.
Mm-hmm.
Ecclesiastes 21:19. Doctrine unto fools is as fetters on the feet.
That's it. That's the one I was talking about. It's fetters of iron. Doctrine unto fools is as fetters unto feet. Meaning, you telling somebody something for their own good, but because they're a fool, it feels like handcuffs. It feels like prison. You understand? I'm gonna give you what they say today. Why are you hating? This feels like hate. You hate. You just hating on me. You just hating on me. It feels like hate to a fool. No problem. Go free. What is go free in this instance? If doctrines to fool is like fetters on their feet, which is like handcuffs and chains. So no problem. Don't want you to feel locked up and chained. What is go free?
Do what you want.
How would that be? How does that come across? Pass. If you ain't sure, pass it. Go ahead.
It's like, sir, for me, go learn the hard way.
Which means what? You giving it to me one way. You giving it to me. That's true. What both of you are saying is true. Something else. Kaga?
I'm gonna use it like in parents' ways. Like parents say, these are my rules. If you don't like it, you can leave because it's like.
Okay, nobody ain't saying leave. I ain't say leave. I just said go free. Sis?
Basically, let Satan have you.
That's true, but how does that look? What does that look like? If doctrine, what does doctrine look like? The doctrine that makes you feel like you're locked up. What does that look like? Paint that picture for me. You try it? No sweat. They said doctrine to fools is like fetters of iron. What does that look like?
Like slavery.
No, well, that's how the person feels. The person feels like a slave. Right? You hear the women's lib movement. What does the women's lib movement say? You men just want me what? Barefoot and pregnant. And you want to make me your slave and go free. So now that's what that looks like. I'm asking you, what does doctrine to fools that make it feel like you're locked up? What does that look like?
So, like, if I may, it looks like the I.S.U.P.K.
You're right, but give me what it looks like.
Righteousness. Nah.
If I was to look at a scenario or situation, what would I see? Pass it.
Order.
A little more than that. Pass it back here real quick.
If I may, sir. When you come in here, you can't leave your woman. You can't, or if your sister, when you come in here, you have to stay with your man, or the 6-month rule.
So what am I seeing?
So
that's what the doctrine is.
Right.
But what I want you to describe to me is doctrines to fools is as fetters of iron. What am I seeing?
Right. So the person that's like that is seeing, like, y'all stopping me from living my potential.
Okay, and when I say what am I seeing, meaning I'm looking at doctrines, fools,
right.
fetters of iron.
Right.
What am I seeing? What does that look like?
Meaning, like,
no sweat. If you didn't pass it, go ahead.
From the outside person looking in on these two things, it's looking like one person like want to learn the hard way.
You're going too far. You're going with okay. I'm getting for time's sake. What? Arawadia, if I give you this chance, I gotta save the whole crew and all. You can't be wrong. No. You would see one person correcting another person and another person rejecting it. That's what it looks like. That's what you ain't wearing that to go. You can't tell. I can't do the neck thing, but you know the next day here and the head come out here and then go back this way, and do this thing here. That's that. It's correction and then rejecting it. And total rejection of it because it feels like, imagine when the cops put cuffs on a brother, he don't want the cuffs because it feels like you're trapped, like you're oppressed. That's what you would see. Come on.
Online, we're probably now to the question where you had asked, like painting a picture of what does it look like. She had said, correction is unpleasant. The ish hurts. No pork, no holidays, no adultery, no lust of the world.
That's what it looks like. It looks, you see somebody correcting, you see somebody rejecting. Now, what is go free? What would you see?
That person doing those things.
No.
The correction stopping.
Yes. Yes, that's what happens. If when the doctrine comes to a fool and they reject it, then no more correction. And you're free. The correction is what feels like fetters of iron. So for you to be free, what has to stop? Correction stops. Does correction ever stop? No. Because as you grow, you get corrected more. You get corrected and corrected and corrected and corrected until you're finally in the grave. Correction is a lifelong journey. Embrace it. Some lessons are harder than others. This is like math. And section 2.1 kick everybody ass, but the last one was easy. It's that. But how do you not fail math no more? How do you not get problems no more? Just don't go to class no more. Now there's no correction. I don't have to put fetters on you. You don't have to feel like you're in prison. Free. Just when it hurts now. When it really hurts, don't come and ask to be locked up. Continue flying free as a bird. When that house burned down, don't call the UPK. You better call the fire marshal. Call McGillicuddy in them to come in the fire engine. You get the point? When you see that daughter making a TikTok video for the adults because they're gonna send her money so she could buy that gift for Christmas, don't call. Because UPK is oppressive, and the UPK want to have everybody like slaves, and all the things they say about us. When your life goes to hell, just remember that you did not want to be in jail. You didn't want to be in prison. You understand? Not eating pork felt like, what is this? Christmas is satanic. Some bullshit. It felt like that. Instead of it feeling like Khan. Like a child, like a young child. You tell a young child, sit there. Okay. Put this on. Okay. Child comes out of the room with one thing. No, go change that. They go change it. Go change that. And they come on. Is this okay? They want the approval. That's how you had to be. Versus hating. You just, whatever. You understand the question with the kids, right? All right, read a little more. From 11, one more time. Quickly, whoever.
You said you got it right.
Who was reading? You got it? Wisdom of Solomon.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 11.
3 and 11.
3 and 11.
Come on.
Whoso despises wisdom and nurture, he is miserable. And their hope is vain. Their labors unfruitful, and their works unprofitable.
Right, and that's what happens when we follow after vain things like Christmas. All that work, all that overtime goes into toys for a bunch of big-headed kids that are going to hate you in January. You get the point? They're going to break the goddamn toy, or going to thank Santa Claus and not thank you. It's all unprofitable, right? And now take this and apply this to everything in life. Birthdays, anniversaries. And Negroes go on, take all, damn near black market a kidney to buy a ring for some broad who's going to be, the second hoe in Santa's hoe. You get the point? It's all unprofitable. And once again, they despise doctrine and nurturing. They hear UPK on the street corner saying, don't do this, don't do that. They hear us and they despise what we say. They despise, they don't want to even see us. They don't want to see anything we got to say, because obeying the Lord in this situation here, to them, it feels horrible. It feels horrible. Once again, telling them separate from the oppressor. Life without the white man? What's this? Feels like fetters of iron. Right? Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 12. Their wives are foolish.
Go ahead.
And their children wicked.
Say it again.
Their wives are foolish.
Go ahead.
And their children wicked.
Go ahead.
Verse 13. Their offspring is cursed. Wherefore blessed is the burn that is undefiled, which have not known the sinful bed. She shall have fruit in the visitation of souls.
Keep going.
Verse 14. And blessed is the
eunuch.
And blessed is the eunuch which with his hands with wrought no iniquity. nor imagine wicked things against God. For unto him shall be given the special gift of faith and inheritance in the temple of the Lord, more acceptable to his mind.
What is that saying? Read the next verse real quick.
Verse 15. For glorious is the fruit of good labors, and the root of wisdom shall never fall away.
What does that say? If you need me to read it again, let the brother read it again. I need to hear it one more time. Read one more time, man. Nice and fluid, all right? Nice and loud, too. 12.
Verse 12. Their wives are foolish, and their children wicked. Their offspring is cursed. Wherefore blessed is the barren that is undefiled, which have not known the sinful bed. She shall have fruit in the visitation of souls. 14. And blessed is the eunuch with which his hands have wrought no iniquity, nor imagine wicked things against God. For unto him shall be given the special gift of faith and an inheritance in the temple of the Lord, more acceptable to his mind. Verse 15. For glorious is the fruit of good labors, and the root of wisdom shall never fall away.
What is he saying? Who can give it? Kaga? Nice and loud.
The first verse is basically explaining like the sister's offspring is cursed because they have no discipline. And when it says the bad part is how we speak today, we be like you made your bed, you laid it because you're a cursed people. That means you're gonna continue to sin. And the second part is explaining how the word that I can't get out is eunuch. If I find the definition of that, I'm gonna just assume that's talking about a child that has discipline, that's refraining to
a little bit different.
Is this saying that because these people despise wisdom and their wives are foolish and the children are wicked, it's better for these people to not have children? It's the people that don't have children that live these lifestyle that lives like this, it's better because their offspring are cursed.
Okay, it's saying the barren and the eunuch. You know, what's the barren and the eunuch?
Barren, they can't have children, and the eunuch, but they can't have children.
You have to make a better way to break some shit down. You know. What's the barren? Go ahead.
The woman who can't have children.
A woman who can't have children would be considered barren. That's not a word that's used for a man. Right? The eunuch is a man who cannot have children. No, they cannot have children by choice. Just give me, just not these. I'm not talking about the spiritual thing. Just a eunuch and somebody who's barren. Is it by choice?
No, sir.
It's not by choice. The barren. She just can't. She can't. It's not barren. Like barren means what? What does barren literally mean?
Can't grow.
It can't grow. The soil is infertile. Right? Nothing, no seed planted grows. Right? That's an agricultural term. It's barren. It's dry. Right? It's not fertile. She literally cannot grow a seed. The eunuch can't plant nothing because his members don't work. You understand? So now they're not barren and eunuchs by choice. They're made that way, and to somebody who lives that life, it feels like what? It feels like a curse.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. Somebody who's living that life is like, God damn, it's eternal sadness. It feels like a curse. But he's saying, blessed are they, because in that day they would not have engaged in certain things and would not have been undefiled and would not have been defiled. You understand what I'm saying? So he's putting it, okay, in this context here, he's putting it as like it would be better, as he's saying. It would be better now if somebody like that, because you just reckon everything because you so given to goddamn pleasure. You so given to pleasure. The brothers post something in England with these two set of twins. Mother left the house for some reason, and the house burned down, and they find all the bodies under the Christmas tree. 4 boys, 2 sets of twins, burnt all the way. You probably should have been barren. It would have been probably a little bit better, because look at what you do into these kids, all for Christmas. Now, go ask that mother, would you have rather not bought the tree and witness your children cry? Yes. She'll give anything to hear them cry and beg again. But now she has to bury them. Now from here on out, every December is going to be what to her? Painful. When every December could have been like every other month. Just regular with her children. That happened to her sister a few years ago down there in Southeast. Her son was begging her for some red Jordans, some old bloody Jordans, they call them. She bought it for him early, went to the basketball court, got shot and robbed. She said on the news, I hate Christmas. For some Jordans. No. Would you rather have disappointed your son and bought him something from Payless? Anything to have him back. But yet still, we are a cult. We are a hate group. Yet still, what we say is satanic. We didn't take your child. And if you really want to get down to the roots of it, you did. You paid for him to die. You go buy them Christmas gifts, you're paying for your children to die. You're paying for your house to be burnt down. It's your fault. It's yours. You did this. Not them. You get the point? What time we have? Damn. Let me get 5 more minutes. Give me Genesis 3. Right? 3 and 7. Yeah.
What was that precept that Ecclesiastes 21 and
that was 21 and 19.
21 19?
Ecclesiasticus. What's talking about?
That was talking about the feathers, yes.
2 and 19. Just make sure it's on the board, all right? Give me Genesis 2 and 25.
Genesis 2 and 25, sir?
Right, 2 and 25. Then we go to 3 and 7, right? 7 or 1? Yeah.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 25. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed.
And give me 7.
Chapter 3, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 7. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons.
What is this talking about? Who could wrap it in a nutshell? Who remembers? Because
it's like, if I may, this is saying that Adam and Eve preferred, it was like,
bro, break it all the way down. Give me 25 first and 7.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 25. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed.
Right. So okay, before you go there, give me what the world believes this is talking about.
The world believes this is talking about actual, what they call butterball naked in the world. So you see all the exposed parts exposed.
Right.
What this is talking about, that Adam and Eve weren't covered in any of the philosophies of the world, of any other nation. They were the Lord. The Lord was their cover, and they weren't ashamed of it.
So now, take that to today. How do people feel naked right now? Don't worry to pass the mic. Just speak up loud.
So like, if I was gonna use it like in street terms, like when you on a block and you don't got a strap on you, but then get naked.
Right. So now, till today, right now, 3 days before Christmas, how does somebody feel naked?
Like you said, Christmas, right? So
yeah.
They feel naked about well, if I'm in the truth not celebrating, they feel.
You answered. You answered. Who else?
They don't have the gifts for their children.
They don't have no gifts in the house.
Right.
They don't have the tree.
Right.
You walk in the house, you meet some sister. Hey, yeah, come over. We'll have some drinks, Netflix and chill. You open the door, she look around. You like something wrong? It look. What you mean? Well, you ain't got no tree. You ain't got no decorations.
Right.
You ain't got no, you ain't got a mistletoe, the mistletoe. You ain't got the mistletoe hanging over the door frame because she expected the kids coming in. But your apartment is naked.
Right.
It's not as naked, it's just not clothed in Christmas.
Right.
There's no lights outside. You go outside, you look at the buildings around here, they're full of lights.
Right.
I just figure out where the parking beef comes from. I saw the lights, and there ain't no lights here. So, of course, it's a war. I just figured that out last night. You get the point? Their buildings are what? Closed.
Right.
But this place is naked.
Right.
It's desolate. It's dry.
Right.
And to somebody in the world, not having a tree feels shameful. You feel ashamed.
Right.
Let's come to your place. No. They fumigated. Let's go to yours. Because you ain't got no tree. You ain't got, you got no eggnog, you ain't got no wine.
Right.
You ain't got it, so you feel ashamed because you're not part of it.
Right.
It's peer pressure.
Right.
You get the point? Go ahead.
Sorry, read on to the next part.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 7. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked.
So this is after they partook in the knowledge of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, meaning now they knew that what it feels to now the shame that you're talking about and being in the truth and not being with everybody else for peer pressure of seeing everybody else do this and you're not doing it. And so now you feel that pressure. It's like
you feel the pressure of not buckling down,
right?
Not staying 10 toes down like you're supposed to.
Right.
It paints it in a nutshell. You have kids, right? How young is your boy?
8 months.
This one.
9.
He's about 9, right? He right around the age that do they start asking you about your shoes in school yet? Asking you, okay? Not yet. You still in the safe zone. At a certain time in a young boy or young girl's life, you could wear anything to school.
Right.
Then there comes a stage, and you could wear anything, and you are not ashamed.
Right.
Your parents bought that, and you put that on, and you goes to school.
Yep.
And then there comes a time, round about middle school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you go to school, and they say,
"What are those?"
And you like, what? It take you a full day, 2 days. Depends on how strong your parents are. It might be 2 weeks before you start to understand what they're talking about.
Right.
And then you start doing what, young man Calvin? You start doing what? Once you realize what they're talking about, you start doing what? You start
to be ashamed.
You start being ashamed, and then you
want to have what everybody else.
And then you start doing what? On who? On your parents. Give him a hand. You're paying attention. You here to there. That's how it starts. You get the point? You send them to school one way and they come back a totally different way. Now, instead, I'm holding point. Go ahead. What are you going to say?
Oh, no, it was on topic.
Come on with it.
Officer Kagar, he already like checking his sons. He said he would go kick your ass somehow.
he was speaking figuratively. Yeah. He was not speaking literally. He was speaking in spirit, and he's doing an excellent job. Give Kagar a hand. Young man, your father is a mighty man and a mighty soldier. Don't worry about that's my personal arms bearer there. He come up. I got a precept. Say, come on with it. Kagar, I'm gonna just let you battle these niggas from now on. Now. You shit. You pulling out the bullets faster than me. Right? This is what really happens. They go to your children should go to school and influence the school. Like people should be calling you in as a parent and saying, listen, that shield they're wearing, we had to stop them from saying shalom. Like that Florida governor who wants to stop people from saying woke because woke is too offensive to the oppressor. You want to stop people from saying oppressor. You put a literal bill on the floor to outlaw the words oppressor and racist and colonizer. because it makes white people feel bad. Your school should call your home and say, he got everybody saying shalom, and what's this Khan? What the hell is Khan? He says Khan and Salakia. What is that? Because your child is strong, and he influences those who are weak, because your God is stronger than the Christian God. The God who you serve is the living power. Now, if your kid coming home feeling depressed because they ain't got on the gay apparel, you got some work to do. You got work to do. You understand? Like, we the trendsetters, we influence the world doesn't influence us. You get the point? And it comes from choosing the hard route and rejecting pleasure. It comes from that. It comes from denying yourself pleasure, holding on for a second, waiting, accepting the doctrine, right? Instead of being a fool with the doctrine. It comes from that. It comes from being hardened, battle tested, seeing enough winters, going through some disappointment, man. Like, goddamn, you're gonna stop. You're gonna get off the bus at disappointment corner. You ain't gonna just ride the bus until it gets better. You get the point? It comes from that. But once you can't do that, brother, you definitely gonna have the children that peer pressure their parents. They come home and they cry and they teasing me, and then your dumbass take the light bill money and go buy them $300 pair of Jordans so they could stop crying. Why don't you equip them to go to school and battle? Why don't you equip them to make fun of them goddamn Jordans? That's why you ain't got no daddy, nigga. Jordan's your daddy. Why don't you equip them to fight back? You get the point, and teach them fools to shut their mouth about some goddamn Payless shoes or whatever shoes your kid wearing. But it starts there. You get the point? With that, we pass the class over to priest and officer Shapata. Shapat, invite your cousin to come on the DC class. So I want to see him, man. I want to come in here and tell I want some tides too.
I.S.U.P.K security announcement. We at the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yahanna. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shut themselves to the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. TITHES, which is the commandment. You can find this in Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, or Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means 10th in Hebrew, and is pronounced ma'ashera. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocation. Parental, 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month. Monday, the 14th of February, and Tuesday, the 15th of February, 2022. You can find this in the book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 20 through 31. Remind Akim and Akwakim to check on social media, such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headband, and scarf. And with that, I say Amaju, which means to stand. We'll give a courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel, Ma'am Shabbat, Imagine, Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Brakathum. Yahweh Shem Yahushua Brakathum.
Saul, which means to turn. God give him a time. Saul, which means to turn. Sisters Imagine, which means to stand. We give a courtesy salute to the sister. Men of Israel, Ma'am Shabbat, Imagine, Barak.
Yahanna Shema Allah Shem Yahushua.
Yahya Mattel, class dismissed.